Today I'm going to show you how to make a valance. Now I've shown you how to do a valance already, but this valance is different. This valance is with some tails joined onto it and some swags coming down the center. So today that is what I'm going to make. That is today's lesson. This tape is a 3-inch tape, and each one of these is this fabric here. By the time you gather this up, this acts as though it's Velcro, so it's the receiving end. This receives the rough end, so it sticks onto the Velcro. So this tape is more or less, it's pencil pleat tape, but it doesn't actually have a name for it. So, but that's what to look out for. All these pockets here. By the time they're gathered up together, it acts like a Velcro. And this goes onto the wood. So that's the tape we're using today. What I've done here is with the lining, I've joined up all the pieces together. These are the small pieces and I haven't cut the shape of it yet. So I've joined it all together, and here is the tails, both together. And because I'm using this now as a template, what I'm going to do is I folded it up together and I'm going to stitch. I'm going to stitch now the 3-inch tape on both of them all the way along, and then I'm going to pull it up and I'm going to take it to my board and pretend that is half the window and do the shape in there, shape it up while it's there, get my tape, and then I'll take the tape off and reuse the same tape because I'm not going to cut it. Here I have stitched the tape on the top of this. You really are afraid to shape it out. this bit here is going round the corner, so you can only see that much of the tail. But even though I've done this, and this is a rough idea of what I want, this is not it. What I do is put it back on my table, and what I'll do is I'll equally make this the same as this one. I'll lie it and get a kind of a mirror image and get the distance of this equal as well. So this is just a rough idea of what I want and rough measurement. And even though I want the finished drop to be 14 inches here, and here the finished drop to be 10 inches, I've still allowed myself for error and mistake, because the whole length of this is more than 15 inches. So by the time I rip this tape off and move it all up, then I will get it exactly. So I've left myself enough fabric for mistakes, and so far there isn't any yet. So this is at the moment, the drop of this is at 20 inches. So I've allowed myself a good 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 inches to play with, and all this will be cut off. That is half of, you're looking at only half of the window. Don't forget, what I've done is the fabric is doubled up, so I'll have mirror image. So underneath here is the other side, the other half, all the way underneath here. So it's all doubled up. So I'm using this as my template. And if you wanted to, according to the picture, if you could stuff this and get another style out of it, that's another story. Uh, 2.5 times the amount of fabric is normally the required amount for your window. I normally do that on curtains, but when it comes to the valances, I actually like to use 3 times the amount. I find that it looks much more better and more fabric in it, instead of looking a bit mean. So my curtains are worked at 2.5 times the amount, and my valances, even when I do goblets or pinch pleats, on the valances I like to use 3 times. It just looks that much more richer. So this one is based on 3 times the amount, but if it's hit and miss whether I get this in the right place or not. So if there is a problem, then all I do is take out a section, and that will sort it. So now I'm going to pull this apart. I'm going to shape it up properly, put it out at its fullness, and I'm going to make it equal to each other, because I've got what I want. So this, it might seem the long way around, but it's either that or you make your template on paper and then cut it. I think that's the longest way around. This is quicker. As I said to you before, this is half of the window. So I'm going to do that now. I'm going to pull it apart. And don't forget the tape that I've got up here. I've got the required amount here left for the rest of the window, because I didn't cut it off, because I'm going to use the tape again. So what I'll do is I'll pull it out. The thing is, when you pull these tapes, it kind of holds the shape, but what you do is, what I'll do now is I'm going to iron it and bring it back to its glory. So I'm going to do that now. is the two drapes that's hanging down to look the same. I've still got a lot to play with, and I'm shaping it up now so they will be both the same. And then from this point I will give this curve to the tail. So now this is the tail. Now I will carry on and making sure that I do not cut the tail here and give it its shape and straighten it off. That's what it looks like straight. And I'm just going to do just a little dip. So you can see I've purposely not made this bit here straight. It's still going up with a slight dip just to give it character. This is nothing to worry about. That's fine. So now, here we go. I now have my template before I cut. So you can see the shape of this now. It's nice and curved. And you can see now that also, this is the front bit. So let's just gather it up on the table so you can have a look. There we go, that's looking nice. Yep. And then don't forget, this is only half. So can you imagine how long my table needs to be? No way. This is looking good. I'm pleased with this. It takes a long time to get there, but as I said, you have to pay attention to the detail and know what you want in your mind. And don't forget, this is freehand cutting. This is done without pattern. And most of the time, when somebody comes up with a picture and say, "Can I have this?" we'll say yes. You've got to think about this thing. You just got to know the basics. So now I'm going to now do the same for the fabric. And this and her curtain should be in her house by the weekend.